Hello students, yesterday we have studied about first law of thermodynamics, and with the help of first law of thermodynamics I have told you how can we explain the heat supplied to any process, means heat supplied to any system in any process, then how will that heat that system will use if it is going through the different processes, like when it was going through isothermal process, when it was going through adiabatic process, cyclic process, and free expansion, isobaric process, isochoric process. Means in all the processes, how can we explain the heat energy is using in which manner, and where the work done will be on the system and where will that will be not. So in all these things, after that I told you that I already told you actually about that what is the limitation of first law of thermodynamics, and in that section I explained you that first law of thermodynamics doesn't give any explanation about the direction of propagation of heat, means in which direction heat can flow, if it tells us that heat can be supplied to the system and heat can be withdrawn to the system from the system, means even this means that if there is a hotter body, then we can provide heat to that, and also even means it is possible to supply heat from colder to hotter body, or simple means in according to as first law of thermodynamics don't any information about the direction of heat, then from this we can predict that and it is obviously true from first law of thermodynamics, and that heat can be flow from colder body to hotter body. But in practice, in general, in daily life, we know that heat cannot flow from colder body to hotter body without any application of external work, means by itself heat cannot flow from lower temperature to higher temperature body. So but according to first law of thermodynamics, it was predicted. Next was that first law of thermodynamics tells us that any engine can perform 100% work if it is going in some processes. Means simple is that if there is not change in internal energy takes place, then all the heat energy will be converted into some mechanical work. Means if we make any machine on the process that its internal energy does not change during the process, then the work done in that process, means mechanical energy, means all the heat energy can be converted into mechanical energy, means our engine or our machine will have 100% efficiency. But later Carnot even described it that no engine can have 100% efficiency, only if there is an ideal engine which will have frictionless piston, total perfectly frictionless piston, perfectly non-conducting walls, perfectly insulated surface, that can be that can perform 100% work, means that can convert all of heat energy supplied to it into the work. In normal, no wall can be made perfect insulator, or it is impossible to make a piston perfectly means perfectly frictionless. So due to friction, due to non-conducting, means normal non-conducting walls, there will be some loss of heat through the system will occur. Means if some of the heat energy is lost, then definitely all of heat energy is not converted into the work. So efficiency cannot be 100% for any real machine. So this was predicted by Carnot, but according to first law of thermodynamics, it said at starting that manner that it can be converted 100% into the mechanical work. So it means that there are so many limitations, and with that some concepts of some descriptions of first law of thermodynamics was not matching with the practical observations. So to make it practically observable, some limitations, or there must be some law which can prohibit such types of things, and also which can allow first law of thermodynamics. Means for this second law of thermodynamics is proposed. So second law of thermodynamics is a limitation, is a provision for that phenomena which is impossible to attain experimentally or practically, and also it allows all that phenomena which are possible by the and can be explained by the first law of thermodynamics. Means it also written the first law of thermodynamics, and also it prohibited some phenomena occurring which is allowed by first law of thermodynamics. So the second law of thermodynamics, the concept of second law of thermodynamics is that heat cannot flow from a colder to hotter body. It will always flow from hotter to colder body. Means heat will flow from higher temperature to lower temperature body always. Means here the direction is now fixed. The first limitation of first law of thermodynamics is now solved, and direction is fixed, that heat can flow only from hotter to colder body or higher temperature to lower temperature. It cannot flow from lower to higher temperature or simple colder body to hotter body. So I think the second law of thermodynamics, first it limited the first law of thermodynamics, means it allowed also, it means it is allowing that there can be a transfer of heat occur from higher to lower temperature. Heat can be supplied from higher to lower temperature. Means here the first law of thermodynamics is also working, but limitation is also solved. The problem of limitations was solved here. And there are two statements regarding to second law of thermodynamics, and collectively they are known as second law of thermodynamics. The first one is given by Calvin Planck. So first statement of Calvin Planck for the second law of thermodynamics is that it is impossible to convert the overall heat supplied to any machine into the 100% work. As I was telling you that the first law of thermodynamics tells us that heat can be converted into mechanical work by 100%, but later Carnot observed that it is impossible to convert for a real machine to in any process. That means it cannot, the real machine cannot convert 100% heat into work if through any process. Means there will be some loss of heat will occur. So Calvin Planck's statement is for that he states that it is impossible to convert for a real machine the all heat energy supplied to it into the mechanical work. Means efficiency of any engine cannot be 100%. It will be always somewhat amount less than the heat supplied to it. Means we can get some percentage of heat energy into, means we can convert some percentage of heat energy into mechanical energy. We cannot convert all of the heat energy into the mechanical energy. Some of the heat is radiated from the system, so that's why that is lost there. So I think the Planck-Calvin statement is now clear to you, and also the second limitation of first law of thermodynamics is solved here. Means there will be always some loss in that process, because in any real machine it is impossible to make perfectly insulator walls, perfectly non-conducting walls, and also perfectly frictionless piston, because obviously there will be some friction will appear when piston will be moving, means to expand or compress the gas, and also some of the heat energy will be radiated out in the surrounding when through the vessel's wall. So obviously some of the heat energy must lost there. So I think Calvin Planck statement is now clear to you. The second statement is given by Classes statement. So what is the Classes statement? The Classes statement is that it is impossible for a self-acting machine to extract heat from colder body and to transfer it to the hotter body. Means as the second law of thermodynamics states that heat cannot be transferred from colder to hotter body. It will be transferred from hotter to colder body. So Classes statement is for that, means if any machine is extracting heat from colder body and it is transferring heat to hotter body, then it is impossible to act that machine by itself. We will always need an external source, external supply, external work done for that process. Like we are using refrigerator, we are using AC, and in all that process as an external source we are using electricity, electric energy. Means without electricity, without electric energy, as you know that our refrigerator and AC don't work. That's why means they cannot extract heat from materials or hot room, or simple you can say that if continually you are using AC and other things, so your room, the temperature of your room is lower than the surrounding in summer days. So that's why means AC is what is the work of AC? That is it is extracting heat from our cold room and transfer it to hot surrounding. Means here transfer of heat from colder to hotter body takes place, which is against the second law of thermodynamics. So that's why to make it possible, Classes stated this law that by itself no machine can extract heat from lower temperature and transfer it to higher temperature body. Or simple you can say that without any external work it is impossible to convert or transfer heat from colder to hotter body. But if we are using some external source, means we are doing some work on the system, then due to that work we will be able to convert or transfer we will able to transfer heat from colder to hotter body, like we are using refrigerator, AC and other things, means other cooling systems. So in all cooling systems we always need external supply, external source, and in present day we are using electricity for that, for our this purpose. So this was the statement of Classes, and I think second law of thermodynamics is clear to you. It completely actually prohibit the limitations or the things which are allowed by first law of thermodynamics, and in practical which cannot be observed, that is explained by second law of thermodynamics. So you can say that second law of thermodynamics is nothing but it is only the clarification for the first law of thermodynamics, and also it tried to remove the limitations of first law of thermodynamics, and it tried to prohibit that phenomena which were allowed by the first law of thermodynamics, but naturally that cannot occur. So I think all three concepts of second law of thermodynamics is now clear to you. For one more time I want to tell you, the first statement was that it is impossible to transfer heat from colder to hotter body. Heat can be transferred easily without any external work. It can be transferred from hotter to colder body. Means if there are two temperatures which are, one is higher temperature, one is lower, then heat will be transferred from higher to lower temperature, but heat cannot be transferred from lower to higher temperature. Second statement was that the statement of Calvin Planck, that was that it is impossible to convert all the heat supply into the mechanical work. Means there cannot be the 100% efficiency of any machine. Some of the heat will lose in the system, and that's why we can't get 100% efficiency by any machine. Clear? Means it is impossible to convert all of heat energy into the work. Simple, it's very clear. Third statement was that the statement of Clausius, that was it is impossible for a self-acting machine, means the machine on which no external supply is used, self-acting machine to extract heat from colder body and transfer it to hotter body. Means it was resembled the first statement, means heat cannot be transferred from colder to hotter body. Means naturally heat cannot be transferred from, means for the self-acting machine it is impossible to transfer heat from colder to hotter body. But if we are using some external source, then we can transfer heat from colder to hotter body. So without any external work we cannot do that, but with the help of some external work, some external supply, we can convert that thing. So that's why we have, due to second law of thermodynamics, we have now refrigerator and AC and other cooling systems, because it helped us to make such types of things, and also to think about that, then we can we can transfer heat from colder to hotter body by using some external source. So I think second law of thermodynamics and concept of second law of thermodynamics is clear to you, and how it explained means it always written the first law of thermodynamics, but it probated the practically that means it probated that phenomena which is not observed practically. Clear? So next topic is reversible and irreversible processes. So what is reversible process, what is irreversible process? So by name it is clear that the process which can be occur in reverse direction also, that will be reversible process. Suppose that if there is a initial point A, it is converting into B, means going through some states, it is converting into state B, and again if it is convertible into A by the same processes in the reverse direction, then it is called reversible process. So it means that in reversible process, all the systems which, or all the processes which occurred in the initial path, means like when it was converting from A to B, means the path occurred, or the processes occurred by it is exactly repeated by the process B to A in the reverse manner, means in and with exact value at every point, then it is known as reversible process. Means here should not be loss of heat energy or internal energy of the system, means no loss must be occur. All the properties of the system must retain here. So reversible because if some of the energy will be lost in the process while converting from A to B, then definitely exactly it cannot be converted from B to A. Somewhat energy or structure will be different there. So I think that is simple, clear to you what is reversible process means. For a reversible process, there should not be change in internal energy takes place. It means that all the processes should be in thermal equilibrium. So, and also this process, reversible process, is very slow process. Means if we divide, we can say that this process contains so many quasi-static process. As I told you what is quasi-static process. So many quasi-static processes, and every quasi-static process is in equilibrium with each other, and that can repeat itself while coming from in the reverse direction. Means at every point in both of the reaction, where A to B, B to A, values must of a system, means its property must be same. Like if we are seeing at this point, all the property must be same here. No property should be changed if the process is reversible process. So I think that is clear to you. So for the reversible process, first it is necessary that it cannot occur sudden. It will contain so many small processes, that is known as quasi-static processes, and also all that processes must be in thermal equilibrium, means there should not be change in their internal energy during this process, during the change of state or processes. Means while going from A to B or B to A, no change in internal energy should take place. Second, there should be mechanical equilibrium. So what is the means of mechanical equilibrium? It means that no energy should be lost here due to viscosity, friction, inelasticity. Means due to all such types of processes, no energy should be lost here. Means all the system must have some means in mechanical equilibrium, means they will contain, they will retain their energy and other forms. Means it must have to have a constant energy during the process A to B and B to A. Clear? Means there should not be any type of retarding or resisting force in that system. If there is a reversible process occur, means there should not be viscosity, friction, inelasticity, such types of properties should not be there in the system. Third is that there should be chemical equilibrium. So it means that there should not be change in their internal properties or internal structure while going from any process A to B and B to A. Means if we see at any 2 point, then the internal structure must be same, exactly same at these two processes. So I think the concept of reversible process is completely clear to you. It is a process in which all the quasi-static process must be occurred in the same manner like it was in the process A to B. Means if it is changing from A to B in the with some so many quasi-static processes, then it must be returned from B to A in the same manner. Means at every point that two processes must have the same value, means same internal structure, same internal energy, same other properties, no loss of heat should be occur here. Means there are from definition, I think in your mind that is clear that it is an ideal condition. Means all the conditions are ideal, because in system there will always some viscosity or friction or inelasticity property will occur, and due to that mechanical equilibrium is not possible. And also if suppose that if there is thermal equilibrium, but if there is sudden change occur, then thermal equilibrium is not possible. Also like in adiabatic process there is sudden change occur. So in that case reversible processes are not possible. And also like in expansion of gas, in compression of gas, there is change in internal energy takes place. So some thermal equilibrium is also disturbed there. And when some processes are occurred, then due to loss of energy and other things, there can be change in or due to chemical processes there can be change in their internal structure. So in normal all the spontaneous processes are irreversible. So what is irreversible process? Simple, the process which are not reversible, which cannot convert exactly itself to its initial position by the same processes, that is known as irreversible process. Simple, the process which cannot act as reversible, that is called irreversible process. So in fact all naturally spontaneous phenomena are irreversible process, like expansion of means fast expansion, pre-expansion of gas, and also sorry not pre-expansion, normal ordinary expansion of gas, there are so many rusting of iron and normal all the processes are like we are using some piston for the work or for the expansion or compression of the gas. Such types of all processes are irreversible process. So I think what is reversible process and what is irreversible process, that is simply clear to you. Means if this process will return itself by the same processes that same quasi-static processes that he occurred that it occurred while going from A to B, then it is called reversible. So what is the importance of reversible and irreversible process in thermodynamics? So there was the debate about the conversion of heat energy into mechanical energy for any engine. Means there can be 100% efficiency or not. Carnot said that there cannot be 100% efficiency, but first law of thermodynamics tells us that there can be 100% efficiency. So to confirm this to the reversible and irreversible processes helps us. If any process is reversible, means it is without changing its inherent properties, without changing its quality and other values, when it returns to its original position, it means that it can extract heat and it can do some work, and again it can convert work into that heat. Simple its meaning is that. Means if we are taking heat from any source, we are doing some work and now we want to convert that work into that heat, then we can also do that. The first law of thermodynamics is that means suppose that delta Q is converting into delta T, right? Means we are try to change heat into the mechanical work. So from first law of thermodynamics, it is also possible that mechanical energy can be converted into the heat. So this is same thing. If suppose that this is hotter body and we are taking heat from it and we are doing some mechanical work, then according to this first law of thermodynamics and also with the help of definition of reversible process, we can say that this mechanical energy or work again can be converted into this heat. Clear? This process means simple that you can say that the reversible process, with the help of reversible process, if any machine is acting in the reversible process, that can convert all the heat into workman, that will have 100% efficiency. Clear? So they helps us to understand the efficiency problem arises in first law of thermodynamics and second law of thermodynamics. So we can easily say that if process is perfectly reversible, then the efficiency of any engine will be 100%. But yeah, naturally, as I told you that this is an ideal condition and it cannot be possible. So that's why we cannot get any machine which will have 100% efficiency, because which cannot make such a reversible process with all these conditions. And obviously if process is irreversible, means we can convert heat into work, but we can not convert all the work into the heat. There will be some loss of heat will occur. We are saying in irreversible process the same thing. Like if current is flowing in any wire, then wire get heated because there is some of the electric energy, electrostatic energy is used in the production of heat. So means we cannot convert all of the energy into work. Simple, clear that. Means that process is also irreversible process, and if that heat is lost, then we cannot, if we want to again convert it into that electricity, we cannot convert that. So means normal engines, normal processes are irreversible. So it will have efficiency less than 100% always. So the problem is solved with the concept of reversible and irreversible process, because means real engines will be irreversible in nature, and ideal engine which can have efficiency 100%, that will be reversible in nature. So I think a concept about second law and first law of thermodynamics and also reversible and irreversible process is now clear to you, and how can we understand it with the help of them, I think that is totally clear to you. So let's end the class here. In next classes we will see some next things. So thank you guys.